I'm Lester Smith, and I was a designer at TSR. The biggest project I worked on was Dragon Dice. I sold a couple $1 million a year there toward the end of the company's life. I also worked on the Planes of Chaos box set with Wolf Bauer and something called Bug Hunters, which was a setting for the Amazing Engine, and a few other things here and there, but those are the three probably most significant things. You know, I'm actually going to mention two. I mean, TSR was a wonderful place to work in many, many ways. But the first moment I remember was after Bug Hunters came out, which I had just poured heart and soul into. Steve Winter stepping into my booth and saying, "Lester, I just read through this and this is really good." And for somebody like Steve Winter to give you some praise, you know, early on, it was just such a feeling of welcome to the community, you know. So I felt like not an interloper from that point on. So that was great. Working with Wolf on the Planes of Chaos box set was a lot of fun, of course. But the other thing probably that I remember the most was stepping out of a panel at Gen Con one year when Dragon Dice was first released, and there were a couple of teenage kids sitting on the floor in the hallway playing Dragon Dice, and they were just having such a great time, and they didn't know who I was. You know, I walked past, I didn't interfere or anything, but that feeling of somebody having a good time with something that you had worked on just made life worthwhile. Yeah, I have a day job as a writer, editor, web person, social media person at an educational publishing house. But on the side, I have a little company, Popcorn Press, where I publish some fiction, some poetry, and starting last year I started doing card games, and this year I'm planning a role-playing game release. The two places that I'd recommend, lestersmith.com, pretty easy to remember, or popcornpress.com. And probably lestersmith.com, that's the one that will point to other projects that are going on, like the Core RPG. The popcornpress.com is a sales site.